Well, it's certainly different.
Austria's iconic Railjet is one of Europe's favourite high-speed trains, well known for its comfort and service quality. But this is the new generation Railjet, featuring many changes to the popular design that a lot of passengers say are a huge downgrade. But are these trains really so bad? Join me for a trip through the Alps as I show you why I think everyone is wrong about the new Railjet 2.0. Hello and welcome back to another video. Today I'm here at Verona Porta Nuova in Italy and I'm going to be catching the Austrian Railways new generation Railjet up to Innsbruck. I'm booked into first class on this journey and I'm really looking forward to trying out this new revolutionary train. Let's go! Verona Porta Nuova is one of Italy's biggest railway junctions, being a key stop for domestic and international services. The 1945 station building, constructed from various types of Veronese marble, is rather simple in design, placing it far down the list of Italy's many great railway stations. Though don't let that put you off, it still does a good job. It's a busy morning here in Verona's main station, with plenty of departures heading out of the city all across Italy and beyond. And let's spare a thought for those travelling on some of these seriously delayed trains this morning. Let's hope our brand new train today isn't caught up in this disruption. Verona Porta Nuova has a large staffed ticket office, as well as a disruption help point. There are also a few ticket machines dotted around the concourse. The station features a lot of shops too, from traditional regional bakeries to a dedicated swimwear shop. Though more staple options are also found here, it's an expansive selection. Anyway, my train today is the 0901 service to Munich Hauptbahnhof, and that's currently showing as on time. This train is part of the Austrian Railways Railjet service that I'll be taking as far as Innsbruck this morning. Italy has seen a massive increase in passenger numbers in the past 2 decades, with the advent of high-speed rail making trains the go-to option for many long-distance trips. The growth was so rapid, in fact, that there are now 2 separate operators competing on most of the key routes, with the privately owned Italo starting service in 2006. But the station also has a number of regionale trains serving the local area and surrounding cities. And here it is, Austria's new generation Railjet train. This 9-car loco-hauled train is the new face of Austria's long-distance railway services, boasting an innovative low-floor design and a completely new business-class seat layout. But not everyone is a fan of these changes, something we'll dig into once we get going. 2 small sections of business class can be found in cars 261 and 262, right next to the cheaper first class. My seat is car 262, seat 141, here in this compartment for 4. So today's route sees us heading up the incredible Brenner Pass through the picturesque Alps. We'll serve Bolzano before continuing through the mountains to cross the border in Brenner, reaching Innsbruck not long later. Journey time is 3 hours 35 minutes, covering 270 kilometres. And we depart with a delay of 21 minutes at 09:22, thanks to some sort of technical issue with the train set. And I'm certainly watching the clock. A delay is always a bit of a shame, but I've got an important connection to make in Innsbruck. So let's hope it doesn't get any worse. Business class is a seriously controversial product on the new Railjet. Seats are found in compartments of 4, and there's no private individual seating. And that's only one of the problems people have with the new business class. The seats are also a major downgrade. Gone are the massive armchairs of the older trains. These new business class seats are basically the same as first class. However, I don't think this is a huge problem. While solo travellers lose out, this will be a great option for groups, despite the €20 surcharge. But it's actually not all bad news. These seats are really comfortable. There's loads of padding, just look at this. And there's also a firm backrest for great ergonomic support. It's certainly nice to see such great seats in times where passenger comfort otherwise seems to be declining around Europe. There's a two-part seat adjustment, with recline controlled through this button and additional thigh support using this lever. At the window and aisle are fixed armrests, with the middle one being movable. This actually rather stylishly slides down into the seat frame, making a perfect sofa-style seat for couples. Up here is the seat headrest, featuring a soft leather cushion. There are also large wings, perfect for leaning your head on comfortably during rest. These headrests also feature individual reading lights. And the interior isn't the only impressive thing on this trip, as just over 20 minutes later, we're already in the southern foothills of the Alps. We're currently headed for the Brenner Pass, one of Europe's truly spectacular mountain crossings, though the scenery on the way to Brenner itself isn't half bad either. Now here's the thing, this is a high-speed train. It boasts powerful electric locomotives, with carriages authorised for a lean 230 kilometres an hour. However, we'll only be reaching around 160 kilometres an hour today. Why? Well, this route runs through the mountains, the line mostly dating back to the 1850s, resulting in a lot of curves limiting our speed. However, it won't always be like this. Construction of a new high-speed tunnel beneath other large sections of this mountainous route is already underway, and this 250 km/h route is expected to open as soon as 2032. But let me know in the comments, do you prefer faster journeys or scenic trips? As well as the exclusive seats in a compartment, business class has additional benefits. For example, at-seat service from the widely renowned restaurant car, with a dedicated service attendant for first and business class. There's a good selection in the restaurant, with meals and snacks on offer. Though as I had already eaten breakfast this morning, I sadly didn't have room for any more. But business class does have one more exclusive benefit, a choice of free welcome drink. I went for a hot chocolate, a perfect drink to allow me to sit back, unwind and enjoy the passing scenery. We're now slowing for our first stop in the city of Rovereto. The city is steeped in history, sitting on what was once the border between Italy and the Austro-Hungarian Empire. As a result, the city is home to the Italian War Museum, founded in 1921. We also make a stop here in Trento. Now, I can't quite tell. Is this wooden pattern a temporary protection for the building, or part of the design? Either way, it looks nice. So while these business class compartments are an often criticised aspect of this train, the real complaints start when you look at the carriage design. And it might not be obvious at first, so let me explain. You see, this low-floor design is great for boarding the train. There are no steps and no gaps at most platforms, but that just means that the stairs are inside the train instead. Imagine how tiring this would get if someone less able-bodied wanted to visit the restaurant 5 cars away. And these passageways are narrow too. It certainly isn't an easy train to navigate. But wait, the restaurant has another problem. There are just 13 seats available here for the entire 9-car train. And I'm not sure that such limited capacity was a very good idea. But with that complaint aside, let's go and check out one of the train's highlights. First class is in a 2+1 layout, and as mentioned earlier, it's the same seat as in business class. Legroom is good with plenty of space, and I really love the bucket chair design of the single seats. There's also a footrest and storage net above this. But this here is the real game changer, a 2-part table, allowing you to store and charge your device up here, or even place it to watch movies. This keeps the entire lower table free, where you can eat a meal, use a laptop, or anything you like. Second class, meanwhile, is in a 2+2 layout with a similar design to the other classes, just with narrower seats. But second class actually has a hidden gem, 6-seater compartments, a much more private and quieter way to travel that many modern trains seem to have forgotten about. And another cool feature is the onboard luggage rack. Now I hear you asking, what's so cool about a luggage rack? Well, this one actually lets you lock your luggage in place, either with a code or contactless bank card. There are normal overhead luggage racks as well though, as well as space behind and between seats. Next stop, Bolzano Bozen, with the station displaying 2 names. And the reason why is pretty cool. We're in the autonomous province of South Tyrol, a region of Italy with a German-speaking majority, with the station displaying both German and Italian names. And that's something we'll be seeing more of during the journey. But for now, let's enjoy the increasingly dramatic scenery out the window. South Tyrol is a region known for its wine production, with the terrain resulting in some unique varieties, combining Italian and Austrian influences. But speaking of drinks, this next feature is something new for the Railjet brand. It's the onboard snack zone, with 3 of these dotted around the train. As well as smaller food items, there's a variety of chilled drinks, perfect for a hot day like this. And there's a coffee machine just next to it. But hold on, there's no tea available. Well, there's always room to improve, I guess. Back in the compartment, here's one of my favourite features. Each room has customisable mood lighting. You can turn the lights all the way off or cycle between various colours. And the train's powerful aircon was an absolute godsend. Luggage can be stored up here on the large rack above the window, while each seat has a small storage area next to it. Wireless charging pads are available, though those looking for a more traditional approach are not let down, with a 2-pin socket and USB socket for each seat. Though here's something quite unusual. Each compartment has a viewing window into the next one, which is a little bit odd. By the way, I have to commend the engineering team behind this train, as this next detail is something spectacular. This train rides like silk. It's one of the smoothest trains I've ever been on, and you barely know you're moving, whether you're travelling at speed or navigating tight mountain curves. Each carriage has 2 toilets. Now, for some reason, these are gendered, which makes little sense on a train, really. These were modern and in good condition. The soap was working fine, as was the tap, with a hand dryer also being provided. We're now on the steepest climb of our mountainous journey, with the train making its way towards Brenner. Back in 1859, when this essential section of railway opened, there was absolutely no fanfare at all. But here's the crazy thing, this line never officially opened. There was no ceremony, no commemoration of the hard work, and no visit from a priest, as the country was in a period of state mourning. Obviously, the railway is clearly open for use, but it's an interesting fact to note. We stop here in the station of Brenner. This settlement exists almost exclusively for the border crossing at the summit of the mountain pass, and we spend 20 minutes here awaiting clearance. And hey, the clock really is ticking on my important connecting train from Innsbruck. We're now in Austria and begin our descent, with quaint alpine villages marking the way. This is one of Europe's most congested railways. As well as hosting long-distance trains like the Railjet, there are frequent S-Bahn services from Innsbruck, serving smaller communities along the route, such as Partch. So how much did this trip cost? I paid €54.40 for my one-way ticket in business class, including the reservation fee. And I think that's a pretty good deal for such a high-quality train journey. Sure, as a solo traveller, business class is a downgrade compared to older Railjets, and the lower floor design causes more problems than it solves. But this is a great quality train, and I look forward to my next trip on board. And we arrive at Innsbruck Hauptbahnhof, or main station, with a delay of 26 minutes. I make my connection with just 5 minutes to spare. Possibly the most interesting thing about the new Railjet though, is that it actually shares its design with a brand new fleet of night trains, which are themselves full of interesting design choices. But some of these resulted in more annoying problems, so click right here now to see what it's all about.